Okay, let's start this video with a question, and my question to you is, where is the strangest place that you've gone to sleep? It doesn't have to be camping, because there are people who watch these videos who don't camp, but the oddest, the strangest, the most interesting, humorous place that you've gone to sleep, let me know in the comments. And tonight might be mine, because I'm here in the Mourne Mountains in Northern Ireland, and I'm heading up there to camp in a very narrow, tight, damp, cold cave. I've been planning this for over a year now, and it's finally happening. Why I decided to do it in November, I don't know. It's potentially going to be below zero tonight, and the cave will not be warm. Sunsets in 25 minutes, and it won't rise again for another 16 hours at 9 AM tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a long, cold, dark night. But I've got you lot coming along with me, so let's go have an adventure. Oops. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. More about them later on. Let's go. Something I'm not going to do is tell you the exact location of this cave. I mean, if you're smart, you could probably figure it out, but the reason for that is that the last time I was in there, the floor of the cave was covered with toilet roll and human feces. Poo-poo everywhere. It's unfortunately quite close to a trail. The more people know about it, the more people are just going to use it as a toilet. So, yeah, I don't want to over-publicize it. Something else I've been trying lately is to try and put dates in the calendar for doing things. I found in the past I always wanted to wait when the conditions were perfect, when I wasn't too busy with work, when the weather looked perfect. And the fact is, I'm always busy with work, and the weather forecast is always unpredictable. You just can't trust it. So I've sort of decided, you know what, I'll put the date in the calendar and I'll make peace with whatever the weather conditions turn out to be. It's turned out better than I expected, and more than that, it's actually happening. And it's actually happening because I stuck a date in the calendar and I stuck with it. Right. We're nearly at this cave. Home sweet home. Okay, I've got a problem because this quest stands on the edge of a knife. A couple of things go wrong and all will fail. Yet, some hope remains because I did a recce about a month ago to try and see if this is going to be possible. So that flagged up the two main problems, and the two main problems are that the floor is damp and really irregular. So I brought a camping cot that'll hopefully get me off the ground and hopefully adjust for that. I hope it's wide enough. If there's not a lot of space in here, the cot could end up being too wide and jam against the sides. The second problem is that there are drips dripping from the ceiling. So to get around that, I have brought a small tarp that I can maybe hang along the ceiling to redirect the water away from me. In hindsight, I should have brought a bivy bag to put over my sleeping bag. In fact, I meant to, but I forgot. So okay, first task is to get some light in here, and there's a lot of cracks in the ceiling, so I brought along a load of these. These are wooden clothes pegs, and these ends squeeze together like this. So I'm hoping that I can jam these in cracks and they'll grip, and then I can hang things from them. I'm going to try hanging my light first, and if that works, I might be trying to hang a tarp off them as well. Huh. I think that'll hold. We have light. I'm just so impressed with my cleverness. Right. Let's get this bed built. This is quite handy here. There's like an area all along here. It's sort of like a shelf. There's a bigger bit there, so I'm able to sort of set my bits and pieces up on that. I mean, the reasons that people give for sort of taking shelter in caves is that they're warm and dry and cozy. This cave is none of those. It's not particularly warm and it feels like it's getting colder. It's definitely not dry. And this is the last place I would describe as cozy. Why am I doing this? Come on. What stupid idea was this? Could have been at home. Warm in bed. No, you've got to go camp in a cave for likes and shares. Come on. Alright, the question is this going to fit? Let's see. There's only one place it can go, and that's here. Ah! I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work. Oh no! There's water dripping on it already. No! Okay, how do I get from... Well, not done yet though, because I've got these. These are extension legs, which will get this about another 20 centimeters off the floor. So let's put all these in. Right, will this fit? Oh, that's not supposed to happen. This actually might work. Some water just dripped on me. Oh! Okay. We need to do something about those drips.
It was at this moment I realised I'd ripped the outer layer of my trousers. I'm so sorry.
This is ridiculous. Right. These pegs are working quite well. This was a total gamble.
Bang.
Alright. We've got our tarp up. It's a tiny tarp. It's the smallest tarp I have. It's only 1.5 meters long, but it's stopping the drips from this section, which is where my head's going to be. There is only one drip down at this end, which is here, but I think it might just miss my feet. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, I'll leave that there for a bit because I'll see where any drips are going to drip on it, if they're going to drip. Drippity drip drip drip. This is an army surplus winter sleeping bag. I'm using it because I didn't want to get my down ones messy. I don't mind getting this one damaged. It cost me like 30 quid. What time is it? It's 6 PM. Right, I'm going to get something to eat before doing anything else. But so far, this is working mostly. This cold, cold breeze is blowing straight in from the entrance. It's not as cozy in here as I hoped it might be. The little stove I'm going to be using, it's a little 60 mils, which I already have fuel in, and it's spill proof, so I should be able to tip this upside down and nothing should drip out. That is impressive. Ugh, just had a bit of a disaster. Look. Yes, that is water all over my sleeping bag. So my very clever tarp here, the water gathered in it, created a puddle, and then the puddle dripped from here straight onto my sleeping bag. Who knew caves are horrible places to camp in? I decided I did not want to have another boil in the bag camp meal, so I decided to make something of my own this time, and I got one of those bags of instant noodles. I just dropped my spoon on the floor that did have human feces on it. There's a 10-second rule apply here. I'm just gonna wipe it off and hope for the best. I don't really think there's a history of people getting horrible diseases from things that live in caves. Is there? Alright, good luck immune system. Okay. This is delicious. This is a combination of rice, chorizo, halloumi, peas, bit of broccoli, and some asparagus. I made this up myself. It was super easy. I just bought like one of those, you know, it's like instant rice that you can just microwave. I got one of those, and then just mix the other stuff in with it, and for significantly less than the cost of like a dehydrated camping meal, I've made myself like some real proper food. Speaking of tasty food, this is probably a good place to mention the sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. And I know not everybody likes sponsors and videos, but I just want to say I'm really grateful for them, because if it wasn't for sponsors, this video probably wouldn't happen. I've had to take 2 days off work to shoot this video, and it'll take me about two other days to edit it, and the fact I have a sponsor goes some way towards covering that time. So I'm very grateful for them. But if you haven't heard of them before, HelloFresh is an online subscription meal service. So you go to the website, select the recipes you might like, select how many people it's for, how often you want to get it, and then you get it shipped in the post. You get a box with ice packs in it. Everything's nice and cool and fresh. You get your meat, you get your veg, you get everything you need in there. Now, you might need to add a few things like salt and pepper, but largely everything is in that box. It also comes with these step-by-step instructions with pictures, which is handy, so you can just follow that to make your meals. I've been using them for 3 months now, and I have yet to get something that I'm not happy with. And my own mother has signed up for it as well, so don't take my word for it, take my mother's word for it. Everything from light, quick and easy stuff, maybe a little bit like this, to more complicated, more complex food. And because it's December, they now have loads of festive options on there too. And if it is something you think you might be interested in, you can get 2 months discount if you click the QR code here, or go to the link in description. There'll be a bit more information there. I'll explain that to you. But I'm gonna finish eating this delicious food, and I think I'm gonna go outside and look at the stars. Unless it's cloudy. And then I'll look at the clouds. Let's just turn that off. I like to use red light at night because it means you preserve your night vision, but you know what's even better than red light? Moonlight. That's moonlight. That's all that's on my face right now, is the light from the moon. I'm shooting this with a Sony A7S. It's like a compact full frame mirrorless camera with really large pixels, so the low light performance is unbelievable. And this is about the level that I can see with my eyes, and that's how bright this camera can go. Pretty incredible. It's quite nice sitting away up here and just being able to look at the lights down in the nearest town and think about all those people who are at home, not doing this, not
freezing their backsides off, not trying to sleep in a drippy cave, just sitting there in their cozy homes, oblivious to how unpleasant it is outside. But I'd still rather be out here. Like, why? Why? It's weird. I mean, I'm enjoying this right now. I've eaten, I'm warm. But, yeah, it's such a weird thing that a lot of outdoor stuff that you do, there's a lot of it is unpleasant, but then it's kind of punctuated by moments of novelty, of joy, of beauty, or just something new, or just meeting new people when you're out. But at least my feet are nice and toasty, because last year I bought a pair of electric socks. Cost me a fortune, but zero regrets. I can plug them in and I can get several hours of heat pumped straight to my feet. Every other year I've been out, my feet get cold, they stay cold, I can't get them warmed up again, and I'm just miserable the rest of the time. And I've tried everything people have advised. Double layer socks, wool socks, this, so much advice. Don't know if I just have bad circulation or what it is, but the electric socks, you're working pretty sweet. Pretty happy. So I've come back in and my mat, which I haven't inflated yet, is absolutely soaked. This is not looking good for spending the night in here. I'm gonna have to see if I can do something to adjust the tarp. But I'll do that in a minute. But before then, let's go explore this cave a little bit further, because it goes deeper. So there's 3 chambers in this cave. You get to here, which is just at the end of where my bed is, and it looks like you can't go any further. But if we duck down under here and then pop up here, we enter the second chamber. This has definitely got tighter. I've definitely gotten far. Gotta push myself up. There we go. Okay, so this is the second chamber. It's about half the height of the first chamber. And you get to here and you turn around and it looks like you're done. But there's one there's one final chamber up ahead. Now, if you're claustrophobic, you're not going to go any further than this, because the next bit, I got to get in my belly and crawl. Tally-ho! And here we are. The third chamber. The third chamber descends down about 10 feet. Alright. Oh, I'm tired. The first time I did this was about 3 years ago. Must have been about 10 kilos lighter, which which definitely helped. Oh, I'm going to extract myself from here and try and see if I can figure out how to sleep the night without absolutely, literally wetting the bed. Getting out of here is fun because
you're just kind of dropping down with no idea where your feet are going to be. And you hope, oh good, that they land on something solid. Oh, right. Bye-bye. Oh, I need these things. Okay, so I think I've solved the problem. I've hung some heavy things, like a couple of lamps on the corner of that tarp, which is now tightening it in that area so that all the drips are now flowing off and dripping down there. And to ensure that I do not freeze during the night, I'm making myself the old Nalgene hot water bottle. Stuff that inside a couple of spare socks, and that will go down in the bottom of my sleeping bag and should add quite a lot of heat. So I've got my Cedar Summit Ether Light XT mat. Try and give an extra bit of warmth with a thin foil mat underneath it, and then to stop it sliding around during the night, I've also tied it in place. Ooh, that's cold. That's cold. Alright, I'm about to either have a great night or a terrible night, or I guess one in between. We'll find out. Oh, I can hear something dripping. 20 seconds after I turned off that light, a stream of water just poured off the tarp, hit the edge of the bed. In fact, that was just some more falling out. Oh! This is pretty frustrating. The water, when it falls, it's messing the sleeping bag, but it's hitting the edge of the bed, and it makes quite a loud noise. And I wake up with this burst of adrenaline. So, unless I can find a way to zone out, I'm not gonna sleep. Good morning. It's 2 a.m. Yeah, it's a bit early, but I'm calling it because I don't know if you can tell, but I am more awake now than I was when I went to bed. I've been lying trying to sleep, and the water keeps dripping off the tarp and hitting the side of the bed and making this loud noise, this like pouring noise, and it just jolts my body up. I get this like adrenaline rush, and then I can feel my heart rate rising, my breathing goes, and then I sort of settle down. I mean, I nearly got to sleep maybe once. I maybe slept for like 30 minutes at one point. I've got a ridiculously vivid imagination. I was lying there, starting to doze off, and then I was daydreaming. Well, not daydreaming, night dreaming, but awake night dreaming. I had this like awake, this sort of semi-dream that the cave collapsed. I was trapped inside, and I started running through all these scenarios. How would I get out? And then would I have a panic attack? And I started thinking, would I panic? And then when I was thinking about panicking, I could feel my heart rate start to go. So basically, a combination of my vivid imagination and the sound of dripping water mean that I am now full of adrenaline at 2 a.m. And I'm calling this because I have a client meeting coming up today, now Wednesday, off afternoon. It's a busy time of the year for me. I'm working on some TV ads at the minute, and I can't afford to just lie all night until the morning. So I'm going to pack up, head out of here, and go back to the van. At least that way I'll get a solid night's sleep. So let's pack up, and I'll maybe have a few more thoughts. I've just flipped the sleeping bag over. I hadn't realised. Look how wet it is. It's absolutely soaking.
Must have been seeping in from underneath. Okay, I feel less bad about leaving now because that was gonna soak through eventually during the night and leave me waking up freezing cold. Look how wet the camp bed is. That's ridiculous. I'm very glad I made the decision that I made. When I was packing away, I discovered that all of the water that I've been hearing dripping during the night that seemed to be disappearing was simply going underneath my sleeping bag and getting absorbed in the bottom. So yeah, if I'd lay there for another 3 hours with another 3 hours of dripping, my guess would be the water would have soaked through the sleeping bag. And I've been sitting in a little bit of a puddle and probably very, very cold. And speaking of cold, the temperature has dropped to sub-zero. It's hard to see, but the ground is now covered with sparkles of frost. And a lot of the puddles I saw on the way down are starting to get ice over the top. Sky is completely clear. The temperature's probably going to continue to drop overnight. So yeah, soaking wet, sub-zero temperatures, not a good combination. I have now no regrets about packing up and leaving. I'm now about 10 minutes from my van, so I'm going to get back, roll into bed, might make a hot water bottle, have a good night's sleep, head home and get back in time for that client meeting tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't yet, comment below to let me know the weirdest place that you slept. I'm counting that, because I slept in very fitful bits. Just not very good sleep at all, and then towards the end it was just woo adrenaline. So I'm gonna count that. Yeah, let me know where's the weirdest place you've slept. Thanks for watching as always, and maybe next time I'll catch you in a cave. Hopefully not, because it's cold. What is that? Oh, well, that was weird. I just freaked myself out. You know when you stare at a light and you look away, the shape of the light sort of floats in front of your eyes? Well, this is quite a bright light, and I just looked over there and I saw this white thing go like that. Scared the life out of myself. Bye-bye.